After they had taken me back to my room, I sat there for a time, looking down at my bound hands. The rumors I had heard had said the Shinsengumi were cruel, vicious men, but they seemed much more human than that. Then again, even as I sat there, they were deciding whether or not to kill me. I don't think they want to kill me, but it seems like they think they might not have a choice. If I didn't defend myself somehow, I'd most likely be killed. I don't know how I'm supposed to convince them, though. However they might have felt about me, it was clear that their priority was the welfare of the Shinsengumi. Oh, right. They all still thought I was a boy. Perhaps if I told them I was a girl, they might reconsider. Or perhaps they wouldn't. Or perhaps they would make my predicament worse somehow. I had no idea what I should do next. Find a way to escape? Attempt to explain my situation. I'm gonna attempt to explain my situation. I would tell them the truth. Perhaps if I did, they'd understand my predicament. Perhaps they'd think I'm from Kyoto as well. If I told them I just arrived in Kyoto, they might lower their guard, or so I hoped. I didn't know anyone in Kyoto, and I'd only come to look for my father. I haven't even told them I'm a girl. The rest perhaps could wait, but I felt that it might be wise to tell them I was a girl. I took a deep breath, and then shouted as loud as I could. Excuse me! I have farted. No. Is anyone there? After a few moments, the door slid open, and several faces appeared around the edges. Why would having me locked up stop me from yelling? He looked a little impressed for some reason. Yeah, I made up my mind. I don't want to die. Well, he was right. I had called them over. I took a deep breath and spoke. I want you to hear me out. Saito's cold words were like a blow to my chest. The courage I'd built up rapidly began to ebb. They all spoke as if they'd already co-signed me to death. It was time to make my choice. Decided to tell them why I'd come to Kyoto. Decided to tell them I wasn't a boy. I like the option of giving up. I'm just gonna give up. I just really like that option. I'll sag with it. I tucked my legs underneath me and sat up as straight and dignified as I could manage. Forget it. Ain't telling y'all nothing. He didn't look as though that was the answer he'd expected. Earlier, he told me that I should just accept my death and try to rest in peace. His mind was already made up. What chance did I really have? Just get this over with. I didn't want to die, but if I told them I was really a girl, then they'd almost certainly ask why I'd been dressing like a man. There wasn't any way I could explain that without mentioning my father. If I happened to say something I shouldn't, then I could get my father and Dr. Matsumoto in trouble. That thought alone kept my mouth shut. You know what, Harada? I'm not going for your route. So like, you can like what I said all you want, but I'm not doing your route, Harada. Okay? Maybe later, but not now. He smiled and laid his hand on the sword at his hip. Don't know what he was smiling for, because I'm not going for his route. Not right now, anyway. Saito's voice stopped him, as surely as if he'd put his hand on the other man's arm. Harada looked over at Saito for a moment as his mouth quirked into a small smile. Huh? Okay. My eyes went wide. What? How did you know? Harada opened his mouth to reply, but Nakakura didn't let him.
ちょっと待て、サノ。俺の耳には今、女とか聞こえたんだが。カマかけてみたんだが、当たりだったな。いや、こいつ見るからに女っぽいだろ。
Nagakura seemed more distraught than I'd expected. He looked as though he was about to say something, but Toto patted him on the shoulder and glanced at me.
なんで男の格好をしてるのかとか、その辺の話俺らに詳しく聞かせてくれよ。
Because I like cross-dressing, don't worry about it. There I was, surrounded once again by the leaders of the Shinsengumi.
美人さんだとは思っていたんだが、まさか本当に女性だったとはな。
Kondo was nodding his head solemnly over and over, as if he were agreeing with a very intelligent suggestion.
女だって聞いてから見ると、女にしか見えなくなってくるんだよな。
Something about that seemed to impress Toto.
しかし、女の子を一晩縄で縛っておくとは悪いことをしたね。
I mean, now you want to feel bad? He looked at me, his eyes concerned. I mean, man or woman, at the end of the day, I am a civilian that, I didn't mean y'all any harm and y'all tied me up. So regardless of whatever gender I am, you know what I'm saying? Like regardless, pretty messed up stuff you did right there, huh? Pretty messed up. You tied me up just all night. Couldn't get the itch. I had an itch. Couldn't get it. Could not stretch myself. Maybe I had to go to the bathroom. Couldn't do that. Just had to hold it. But anywho, each of them took the news differently.
女だ女だって言うが、別に証拠はないんだろ。
But proof? Harada laughed. Nagakura grumbled to himself under his breath.
証拠も何も一目瞭然だろうが。なんなら脱がせてみるか。
Please don't.
許さんぞ。注目の中、女子に肌をさらさせるなど言語道断。
Again, regardless of gender, don't do that. Don't do that. Kondo shot up before I had even finished, his face bright red, but Harada's words hadn't had any malice behind them. He shrugged and settled back into his seat. Nagakura had crossed his arms and his brows were knit. Why is that the exception to the rule? Well, if you're a girl, I guess we can't kill you. Like what the heck? It's messed up, man. Exactly. Hijikata's words left no room for argument. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Kesuke. Somebody with sense. Yes, Kesuke. Do you have a route? I don't think he has a route, but darn it, if he has... Wait, does he have a route? I don't think he has a route. But if he has a route... Kesuke, me and you, Kesuke.
今日の治安を守るために組織された私たちが無益な殺生をするわけには参りません。
No, but Kesuke, you don't have a route, do you, Kesuke? Because if you got a route, then, you know, I think I figured out which route I'm going to go for, but you don't have a route. Do you have a route, Kesuke? You got a route, Kesuke?
結局、女の子だろうが男の子だろうが、今日の平安を乱しかねないなら話は別ですよね。
I am legit about to Google it. Like, this man got a route? I need to know. He had that grin again. All he just be grinning left and right. That's all he do. That's all Okita do. He just stay grinning forever. The Shinsengumi didn't enjoy a shining reputation. The Shinsengumi didn't enjoy a shining reputation already. If rumors began to spread that their men were thirsty for blood, things weren't likely to go well for them. They wouldn't be able to operate in Kyoto, and with no one to protect the people, the city would eventually fall into chaos. I could see in their eyes that each of them knew this full well, the consequences. I could see in their eyes that each one of them knew full well the consequences rash actions could have.
それを判断するためにも、まずは君の話を聞かせてくれるか。
I could feel all their eyes upon me. The room went quiet. My name is Ki Yukimura. I told them everything. How I lived in Edo, how I'd come to Kyoto to find my father.
そうか。君も江戸の出身なのか。父上を探して遠路はるばる京に来たのか。
I could see emotion welling up in his
そ
eyes.
してそのお父上は何をしに京へ。
My father is a doctor. His name is Kodo Yukimura, and he specializes in Western medicine.
なんだと。
Huh? The moment my father's name crossed my lips, the atmosphere in the room changed.
これはまさか行動氏のご息女とはね。
The good Dr. Kodo has a daughter. You know my father? I wasn't sure what the sudden silence meant, only that the revelation of my parentage had caused a pronounced change in their behavior. It was Saito who finally broke the silence.
行動氏の行方は現在新選組で調査している。
Oh, well, isn't that lovely? You're after my father? Why? What did he do to y'all?
あ、勘違いしないでね。僕たちは行動さんを狙ってるわけじゃないから。
Oh, I see. Tension that I hadn't noticed appear began to dissipate.
同じ幕府側の協力者なんだけど、実は彼、ちょっと前から行方知れずでさ。
Would have been real messed up if y'all killed his daughter, huh?
幕府をよく思わない者たちが行動氏に目をつけた可能性が高い。
Ah. My eyes went wide, but Saito kept talking as if I'd done nothing.
生きている降参も高い。乱方医は利用価値がある存在だ。
I wasn't sure what else to do, so I nodded. My heart pounded in my chest, threatening to burst out onto the floor. Father, was he safe?
行動氏が見つかる可能性は君のおかげで格段に上昇しましたよ。
Huh? Sanan continued. Apparently, my father had only visited a small number of times. I understood then what he'd meant. It would be difficult for them to track down someone they barely
で
knew.
すが、行動氏の娘である君ならば、身なりが変わっていようと看破できますね。
Yes, I could. I could. I nodded as I spoke and gave him what I hoped was a steady, reassuring smile. I tried to match his smile.
あの乱歩医の娘となりゃ殺しちまうわけにもいかねえよな。
Why is that the thing that's, you know what, whatever, as long as y'all don't kill me, I really shouldn't care about the reasoning. Which means more work for me, his eyes added. They narrowed as he looked down at me. That's so messed up. That is like, oh, now we gotta work harder now that we're not gonna kill her. It would have been just so much easier to just kill her. If you think, you know what, Hijikata, if you think, or if you thought that was gonna be so much easier for you to just off me, then why didn't you? Then why you had the chance and you didn't? So yeah. Consequences, actions, take responsibility. That's why I'm not doing your route. Maybe later, but I ain't doing it right now.
ゆうべの件は忘れるって言うんなら、父親が見つかるまでお前を保護してやる。
Nothing about this situation is fair, but fair.
君の父上を見つけるためならば、我ら新選組は協力は惜しまんとも。
Thank you so much for not killing me. I'd never imagined something like this. Not only had I survived, I found my first decent lead, and the music changed for the better. Now I don't have to be scared anymore. Everything's okay again. Yay. Good
殺されず
times.
に済んでよかったね。とりあえずはだけど。
Shut up, Okita. He gave me that same wolfish grin. There was no denying that my situation was still less than desirable, but at the moment, I didn't care. I didn't care. Yes, I'm very glad. I'm so glad. I'd been through a lot, but at last I found help, and where I'd never have expected it, the Shinsengumi. Kyoto hadn't been kind to me, even though I'd been there less than a day, but it looked as though my fortunes were taking a turn for the better. I still had a long way to go. I had worries aplenty, but it was important to stay optimistic.
本来であれば、ここのような男女隊より、諸次第や会津藩に預けてやりたいんだが。
Kondo let the sentence hang in the air and looked at me, his arms folded. It was clear I had no choice but to stay with the Shinsengumi.
不便があれば言うといい。その都度可能な範囲で対処してやる。
Oh? His expression didn't change, but his words were unexpectedly warm. I looked away from him awkwardly, but I still felt the heat rise in my cheeks. Thank you.
まあ、女の子となりゃ手厚くもてなさんといかんよな。
I mean, y'all could have been nice to me. You know what? Whatever.
新八さん女の子に弱いもんな。でもだからって手のひら返すの早すぎ。
いいじゃねえか。これで豚書が華やかになると思えば、新八に限らずはしゃぎたくもなるだろう。
I wasn't entirely sure that would be the outcome.
大使として扱うのもまた問題ですし、彼女の処遇は少し考えなければなりませんね。
Well, I can make a mean tea. No, I'm joking. Let me stop.
なら誰かの故障にすりゃいいだろう。近藤さんとか三男さんとか。
Oh,
やだな、土方さん。
I forgot to read that.
そういう時は言い出しっぺが責任取らなくちゃ。
Dang, Hijikata don't care about me. He don't care about me.
おお、都市のそばなら安心だ。
Kondo's face split in a wide grin, and he slapped his leg in agreement.
そういうことで土方くん、彼女のことよろしくお願いしますね。
Sana's smile had more than a little of a mocking twist to it.
てめえら。
Something about the way that they wrote that word. As I watched their back and forth, some of the earlier relief began to ebb away. What was going to happen to me? February 1864.